Hello friends, so I am back with another video, and today it is going to be a video on how you can read more books during school, college, or just in general. On a daily basis, pretty much, I always get asked the question of how I read so much, and I never really have a solid answer because I don't really have like a set thing I do to read much, but I do have some tips that'll help you read more during school or college, or just read more in general. So I'm going to tell you guys those today in hopes that they might help you as they have helped me. So let's just get started. So the first tip I have is set time each day for reading, whether it be you wake up a bit earlier to read in the morning, or you get things done at nighttime a bit earlier to read before bed, or go to bed a bit earlier and then you can read before bed / before you get tired. Now for me, a lot of the times I usually read at nighttime because me waking up in the morning is never a good idea, especially if it's early, so I would not do that. But I usually read at nighttime, and a lot of the times that usually does end up in me missing out on sleep, but for me that is okay, especially if the book is good. If you are willing to sacrifice your sleep time, then by all means do that, but do not do it unhealthily like I do. I nap constantly because I stay up late. So just set aside time each day, whether it be in the morning or at nighttime, to read, because if you really want to read, you're going to want to set time aside and pick up that book. Tip number 2 is listen to audiobooks. Audiobooks can be the biggest lifesaver in the history of lifesavers, because these don't require you to be holding a book, holding a Kindle. You get to listen to them, you can do whatever else you'd like. A lot of the times if I listen to an audiobook, I'm cleaning my room, doing my laundry, and just cleaning up, and I don't have to worry about flipping pages or anything like that. I can just listen to it while I get other things done. So it helps keep you productive while you're being productive with your reading. Tip number 3 is take your book everywhere with you, and everybody knows that I constantly have a book with me, whether it be on my phone, I actually have a physical book, or it's on my Kindle. I usually have a book with me at all times, and I am saying this because there will be times in life where you get stuck at a point where you're running a bit early. Bring out that book and read a few pages. Where you're sitting in between classes and you have some time, bring out the book and read a few pages. There's always some time to read in between waiting for things, and whether you believe it or not, those page counts will end up accumulating to a bigger number, and it will help you get books done faster. Tip number 4 is to set up a reading plan, and whether this be amount of hours or minutes you read a day or amount of pages you read a day, you should try and get into the habit of sticking to this reading plan. For certain books, if I want to finish them in a certain amount of time, I set a daily page limit for how many pages I should read a day. That way I can finish it within the time allotted that I have. Most of the time I do not set a time limit, as in 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours of reading. I usually set a page limit because that's easier. Sometimes we don't have certain amounts of time, so getting some pages read in between and everywhere will help you reach your page limit. But set a reading plan up and you will be golden. Tip number 5 is do not force yourself to read. If you don't want to read a book, don't force it. That will definitely make you slumpy. You won't be wanting to read the book. It'll take you longer to read, and you won't get any reading done. Especially if it's the book, put it down. It is okay to put a book down. It is not illegal. You are fine. You are allowed to do that. So if you don't want to read, don't read. Do something else. Watch Netflix. Watch YouTube videos. Just don't force yourself to do something you don't want to do. Tip number 6 is to make reading a habit. Usually if you want something to become a habit, you continuously do that, and this goes along with making a reading plan. If you stick to that reading plan every day, reading will become a habit for you. Now for me, every day I'm reading constantly, and that's how I get a lot of books done. Just make reading habits, stick to that reading plan, and you'll be good. It works. Tip number 7 is to reward yourself with reading. And now I'm saying this not in a legitimate way. What I'm saying is if you are studying or doing homework, do 30 to 40 minutes of that studying or homework, and then take 10-minute break to read a few pages of your book. It works well as with getting your pages done and as a stress relief to the studying and homework you have to do. I do this all the time, and it is really great to have that bookish reward to look forward to. Tip number 8 is to read multiple books at once. And now if you can't do this, then I'm not forcing you to, and don't force yourself to. But it's a lot easier to read multiple books at once if they're in different formats. So you have audiobooks, ebooks, and physical books. And it's easier if you're reading a physical book in certain times, and then you have like an ebook on your phone you can read if you don't have your physical book. And then like on commutes you can read audiobooks, or when you're walking around campus, or when you're cleaning up you have audiobooks to listen to. If you have more than one book going at once, odds are you will get them finished and you'll have more books added to your list of the month than you normally would. Tip number 9 is to read books you like. Stick with the genres you know you love. Don't go with books that you're not gonna really feel like you're going to like. Stick with the genre you like, and that'll work. I know people try and step out of their comfort zone, but if you step out of your comfort zone and you realize that while you're reading the book that you don't like it, then put it down and pick up a book that you know you'll like because it's in your favorite genre. Don't try and force yourself to read different genres if you don't like those genres. It's as simple as that. Tip number 10 is to read books you are excited to read. If you see a book that sounds interesting and you get excited over it, you'll most likely end up speeding through that book in no time at all. So pick up books that you've been wanting to read, that you really want to read. Don't pick up books that you have to read and feel like you have an obligation to read it because you bought it. If you're not in the mood to read that book, then don't pick it up. You need to pick up books that you are excited to read and that you want to read, because odds are the ones that you're more excited to read, the faster you'll get them done. Number 11, take a break if you need it. Reading is not a competition, and it's not something that you need to compare yourself to other people with. Reading is your own personal pleasure, and you don't need to compare it to everybody else. So if you want to take a break from reading for a bit, watch some Netflix. I'm a strong advocate of Netflix. Watch some YouTube videos. Don't feel like you have to force yourself to try and read this many pages or this many books in a month to satisfy your YouTube viewers, to satisfy your Goodreads book challenge. Don't do that. That'll make you slumpy and it'll make you not want to read anymore. Like I said, reading is not a competition. Shouldn't treat it like one. Those are my tips and tricks to read more books, and I don't know if these will help you, but they have definitely helped me. But if you have any more thoughts and tips, you can leave those in the comments down below, because I definitely would like to know a lot more ways to read more during the school year. But if you like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up and hit that red button down below to subscribe to my channel to be notified of any more videos I post in the near future. And until next time, bye guys. Of October, there in total there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is wrong. 10 and 11. Forgot. 2 books I don't have with me.